14 people in chat already. Here we go.
Do your introduction without the music, bro.
And now, live from the Man Cave Studios, deep in the heart of constitutional Livingston County, Michigan, on a Sunday night, candidate for Michigan's 11th District House of Reps conversation with Matthew Stafford. Yours truly, Larry Parsons. This is My Brain, and now your host, Mr. Jeremy Scott Gibbs.
The man who had to go and troubleshoot it again.
Are we up and running, buddy?
We're up and running. I really don't know what's going on with Rumbles. We're getting,
It's been a nightmare lately.
well, I don't know what to do.
It's
welcome.
definitely testing your awesome skills.
Dude, I had 20 minutes ahead of schedule to do stuff, and it just didn't want to. I'm like, what am I missing? What am I missing?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so we're good. All right, let me see what we got. We got 17 already in the Rumble chat. Larry, are you monitoring Facebook chat?
I am not at this
Let's
point.
get on that. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invite.
Absolutely, buddy. So we quickly discerned that you are not.
The football quarterback. Yes.
yeah.
That is correct.
That is correct.
I mean, if I wish I had his money, absolutely.
Dude,
But, yes.
I literally, I went into, or I was doing my research before the show today, and I typed it in. I said Matthew Stafford. I couldn't remember what district it was, but I was like, rep candidate.
For state rep. Yeah.
And it literally pulled up former Lions and Rams quarterback now running for office, and I'm like, no, he's not.
And you see, and people. So when I talk to people on the street, they always ask me, they're like, "You talking about the quarterback?" And I always
No.
tell the quarterback, "Listen, I wish I had his money. I would definitely not be in politics if I had his money. I'd be out probably in L.A. right now."
Right? So I told you before the show, I said, it's funny, you're Matthew Stafford coming on, running for office, and my former lead guitarist for about 5 years is named Tom Brady. So he always insisted that he was the Tom Brady because it was 4 many years older.
Well, actually, I am older than Matthew Stafford by a year, so
Okay, so
technically
you're
he stole my name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's stealing my name.
Exactly.
Already,
But the name recognition doesn't hurt.
Oh, absolutely not. Because again, when people see when the headline reads Matthew Stafford for state rep,
Yeah.
their attention automatically draws to
yeah.
that headline.
Yeah.
And that's one actually part of my strategy is once they see that name recognition, they see
Right.
Matthew Stafford for state rep.
Have you thought about putting
Hey.
on your lawn signs, putting a little football?
Well, I mean, I don't want to be sued by the Lions, their club there. So I will definitely stay away from any kind of that type of logo. But when he just won recently the MVP of NFL,
Oh, yeah,
I
really?
updated. Yep, I updated my website so it says MVP of Macomb County politics.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
I mean,
nice.
like I said, I definitely utilize my name recognition, but
Of
again,
course.
it's not everything.
Exactly. Bovey's giving you a hard time already. John Bovey, that is a flag on his chest. He said it looks like you just came from the the Howell Rainbow Pride parade yesterday.
Jeez. I'm glad I missed that.
Clearly, he doesn't know that that's a flag with your cheese on it.
Oh yeah, he has spilled cheese over there.
Don't fix it now.
Yeah, people
too late.
have seen it already.
Yeah, I've seen it already.
They would have to zoom in quite a bit. And for some reason, I'm feeling bleached out again over here. Oh, it's because the overhead lights are on.
Yeah, there you go.
The kids were out here. There we go.
There we
That's better. That's better. See how many things I got to deal with around here. Well, welcome, Matt, to the show. We're going to get into all the politics, but let's do this first to let the audience know our normal routine out there. Do you have any disclaimers that you need to divulge, or anything you need to, an employment that you need to, job, or anything like that? Okay.
No, not at this time.
All right, good. So I'm going to go here. Notice this podcast is raw, unfiltered, completely politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas and the Pledge of Allegiance, especially the part about one nation under God. We give thanks to our troops, thanks to both of you on the other side of the table, and to those in our audience that served. We salute all of you. We may disagree with the wars and the theaters that you're sent into, but we salute your heroism every single time. On this show, we recognize 3 genders, male, female, mentally ill. Write that down. As adults, we enjoy adult beverages. Nobody's doing adult beverage right now, so we're good. I might pull one out from underneath the table. We'll see. We cuss. We do not curse or swear. We'll see how that goes tonight. Look up the definitions, please, between the difference between cussing, cursing, and swearing. They are different and distinctively. With that, we love Jesus, but we hate religion and religious hypocrites. If any of this offends you, please leave. And I'm going to call that on... I'm going to call it on that, Larry.
There you go.
I'm going to call it on that. You don't need to do your normal
No, not tonight.
Second Amendment stuff like that, so we're good.
No. So what do you think of the studio so far?
You know, you guys have a great setup here. I mean, when you gave me the tour, it was, it was amazing. The set, the lights, and even the camera angles. You guys got.
We like to switch it
going.
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get that
And
going.
my favorite is the balcony because we've got seats from the Palace of
Yeah,
Auburn Hills.
I was just gonna mention that as well. I mean, I would never thought I was gonna see those seats again because
How about the Knicks?
Great memories in that. So.
Dude, how about the Knicks fans rioting throughout New York? Now, I don't think it's mostly Knicks fans. I think it's opportunistic people
Exactly.
that are rioting but you know, I just think of the contrast. I'm a huge hockey guy, and I'm like, wait. Somebody wins the Stanley Cup, we don't burn the city down. We throw a parade, right?
Yeah, right.
But basketball, apparently, you win basketball, you burn your own city down. I know the justification. Yeah. Anyways, all right, Matt, we're going to get into this. Talk to us about your background and some of your history. You're a lifelong. How do we say it? Michigander. Larry likes to mess up those
We
words.
got to keep the terms politically correct.
He said, who did we have on? Was it Rinky or was it who?
Kevin Rinke. Yes.
I know, but you were like, and Goober National.
Yeah, I meant to say,
gubernatorial.
I meant to say gubernatorial, and I looked at it, and Gubernational came out. And it's a good thing he's a car guy because then we talk about the Gubernational drag races.
And I've never let him live it down. Should have the shirt under the vest. Just give us a super chat and shut up, Bovie. I love him. Tease him. Anyways, your background history, you're a lifelong Michigan resident, a Michigander. You've also served in the military. We're going to dive into that too. But give us your background. You said you're a year older than Matthew Stafford, so you're 38, 39.
I am 37.
Or you're 37. So he's I thought I just read that he was 30.
Is he
7 or 30?
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just quickly, it's off the top of my head, so it doesn't
yeah.
matter. But okay, so you've lived here all your life in the district that you're at, or were you in different parts or near there?
I'm actually from Hazel Park.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Hazel Park.
Okay.
And then I've been living in Warren since 2015.
Okay.
Yep.
Survived public school, all that stuff?
Oh yes, I have. And then 2 days after graduation, I went right into the military. So
Wow.
it was just and I went to the alternative just so I can graduate early.
Okay.
So my recruiter he asked me to
So
go in and do that early.
that's what
2008.
you're 37, so you're 2008.
Eight.
So that was right at the beginning of Obama's presidency, right? Is that the right timing?
That
No,
was
it was
before,
during the campaign.
Yeah, that was during the campaigning season.
So what was the desire and impetus to be just to serve, or was there a catalyst going on there?
Yeah, so my family's all military. They
Okay.
all served.
Okay.
I had an uncle who's a Marine, and he also a detective in Troy.
Okay.
So I kind of knew military was going to be my option. I had planned to literally retire from the military. And
But you ended up just doing your single tour, the 2-year tour?
Yeah, so I did 2 years. I shattered my kneecap.
Oh.
And have had 2 reconstructive surgeries.
Okay.
And after my second one is when they medically discharged me.
Yeah, so honorable medical.
Yep, it's not.
Okay. How did you like that though before the injury?
I loved it. I was a cannon crewman, 0811. I was cannon artillery.
Okay.
I loved every second of it. A lot of my friends, they went over to Hawaii.
Yeah.
They got lucky, I say. But I mean, I did enjoy my time in Lejeune, Camp Lejeune. So
Okay.
it was, like I said, it was a great experience, and I
What
never
theaters did
forget
you
it.
end up in?
I never.
Oh, you never made it.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
yeah.
actually shattered it during training. So
During training.
it, like I said, I mean, I would have served 20, 30 years if I
Right.
could, but I mean, after the second surgery, when they finally, medically discharged me,
Yeah.
I just kind of accepted it at that time. But again, I've always had that desire to serve,
Okay.
to serve my community and my country.
What was the accident? Was it a
Yeah,
specific?
so I actually had jumped out of the back of a 7-ton with full gear on, and I landed incorrectly and completely shattered and fell to the ground.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was in so much pain. I couldn't believe it. Like it was insane that much. And then finally, my sergeant pulled me aside. We took me to med bay, and then we went from there. Went to the hospital and twice.
How long was the recovery?
So
After
for
two
me,
surgeries.
yeah. So after the first surgery, my recovery was just under 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah,
A lot of
so
rehab.
that was after the first one. Yeah, with the rehab and everything.
How did that make you feel? Because this, having the family background and everything
I felt
like that.
less because again, like I said, my family, they served, and
Yeah.
the way I seen it, my only path was service. So I completely was devastated.
So you had to work through a lot of that.
Yes.
within yourself
and
to
then
go-
after
yeah.
the recovery time, I wasn't getting any better, and I actually got more pain back. So that's
Wow.
when they went and opened me back up, and
Was
did
it some
again.
some pieces out of place or some other
So
things?
what they did the first time was they removed the kneecap, and I had 2 rods put in place. And so what they ended up
Wow.
having to do is replace, because one of the rods had bent and it had kind of degraded a little bit.
Okay.
So they just went in and replaced that one. And after that is when they just said, we're going
We're
to
gonna
discharge you.
discharge you. Yeah, I've had a couple buddies. I had a buddy that had a nerve ending on his heart,
Ooh, yeah,
and he
that's-
actually, after his second heart attack, he'd already been shifted into the office, and he had another heart attack and basically
Oh,
died
right
on the
there?
floor.
Oh, wow.
And they revived him, and then they found out it was a nerve on his heart, and they cauterized it, and he hasn't had any issues since, but they still give him a medical.
medical discharge.
Yeah,
They're very adamant, and especially now with a lot of diseases would disqualify people too. So if you have like diabetes or just
Right.
certain out of your control and you're born with it,
Right.
they don't even let you serve then. So
Yeah.
I like I said again, I
Okay.
mean I feel for them. I wish they could serve, but
Right.
I mean again.
So how did that? So you're dealing with that injury, and it's not of your own desire, obviously, and not of your own.
Yes.
It wasn't something you did, something to bring
Exactly.
about. So you had to work through that. What's the next shift in your life? Where do you're still probably limping for a while there, or where you're doing a lot of physical therapy?
So when I got home, I was on painkillers for a while.
yeah.
I was on Vicodin. They
Okay.
prescribed a lot of that. And
Yeah.
I was going through the VA system. And that's where like I said, a lot of the stuff that I'm running on now, that's where it came from. Because
Okay.
I've physically dealt with it.
You've been through that, yeah.
Exactly. So I know that how difficult it is, especially, the wait times. Even just the mental health support system that's in the VA.
Yeah.
It's terrible right now.
Yes.
So that's, like I said, that's another thing that I want to work on when I'm elected is getting this proper support for our veterans.
Yeah.
Because I believe, they served our country.
Yep.
They deserve the best.
Yes.
And right now they're not getting that.
Correct.
So I definitely want to, go through and see what we can do better and then not push that, as far as I can. Because I'm going to be their voice in the
Absolutely, and we need that. We need a lot of that because our vets. We have a ton of vets that we've worked with. Obviously, Larry, but a ton of other vets. And yeah, I don't know if you noticed on the fridge down there, we have a couple of the hotline, the 800 numbers.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yep,
So that's huge,
it's-
and it's just they say 22.
22
but it's
a day,
but
yes.
it's actually most of our guys know it's upwards of 70.
Oh, it's way more than that. now.
Yeah.
Actually, we had a show based with vets. When
Oh,
we
that's
do
great. I wish I
20
would've came on that one,
20-something
too, 'cause-
episodes.
No, 24 hours.
Oh, 24 hours.
We did 8 episodes, but then there was
Yeah.
a primary election, and half my vets backed this guy, or some of them backed this guy, and some of them backed this guy, and some of them backed this person. and it blew up. And so I have all this footage I've never been able to release because the guys that were on there that were comrades, and buddies during the show times now hate each other.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, what do I do with all this footage, man? And we did have one, episode 2, there was one guy that came on that everybody thought was on the up and up, and find out he was stolen valor.
Oh, wow.
He exaggerated his completely.
Yeah, that's terrible, and that's another big thing in this country is, whether you served or you didn't serve.
Yeah.
It's a thankless job. We all know that.
Right.
You don't get thanked every day from the everyday citizen. So just to be able to say, hey, thank you for your service, that means a lot. That means
It does.
a lot to the veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
when I was at Fort Hood, Texas, I actually was a Jeep driver for the battalion commander and
Motor
battalion
pool,
sergeant
this guy.
major.
Right.
Motor pool.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's been a trucker all his life.
Motor pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually joined the Army to be a truck driver, and it's when you mentioned that you were what were you, a gunner?
Yeah. So I was a cannon crewman.
Cannon
artillery.
crewman?
Artillery.
So were you like in an M1 tank or something? or-
No, I was artillery. So it's,
Artillery,
the
so-
M777 howitzers.
Oh, the howitzers. Oh, the big guns.
The big boys. That
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I wish I would have brought my. Actually, I have it on Facebook. I have my picture of my whole platoon.
Okay.
With,
nice.
with our guns in the background. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
great
nice.
picture.
Okay. Under your
Yeah, it's on,
the Matthew Stafford.
oh yeah, the Matthew Stafford, one and only Matthew
No,
Stafford.
the one and only Matthew Stafford running for a Republican
Yeah,
running for.
we have a howitzers
Michigan
where we
House.
train down and everything. So it's
Nice.
a great picture.
I'm going to your page. I'll see if I. Oh yeah. It came right up. So. Oh, that's for the district. You want it on your personal page?
Yeah, it's on my personal page.
Where are we at? That's not you.
I wish it was though.
Because these are your candidate pages.
Looks like you got endorsed by a veterans group.
Yes, I did. I actually got endorsed by the Veterans for a Better Michigan
Yes.
organization.
Veterans for a Better MI. Absolutely.
Is that a legitimate group, Larry?
It is.
I've heard some rumblings.
Ah.
You want to clarify that for the listening audience? out
Well, it
there?
seems to me the papers for that legitimate group were signed right here on this desk,
Okay.
weren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And I do know some of your board members. So,
Uh-huh.
all right, Matt, I was looking for that to see.
Oh, that picture. Yeah, the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my photos.
Yeah, you have to go
I was just trying to. No, I'm scrolling through to find your. See, these are the search links, but they're giving me mostly your campaign pages.
Yeah,
That's-
you probably got to
Yeah,
go on this.
I'm very heavily involved in on social media. So
Larry, find it for me and send me the link in the Facebook
Yeah.
so I can
Yeah.
pull it up. We want to show your group on there. Okay, so you get through that. You had these hopes, huge. You had these aspirations. You want to. Am I interrupting you?
Sorry. Jeff Amayo's in chat.
I know. we have a
a regular.
very colorful, eclectic group of chat people that like to troll, especially Larry. What's he
we're-
saying?
We're all veterans here. We know.
So Jeff Amayo, the Livingston Strangler, I came here and thought this boy's got Matthew Stafford, and y'all has some cracker ass scamming me out. Yes. We're working on name recognition. Thank you. I'm not even going to read some of the other ones.
No, not on this show.
All right. So you have this ambition. You want to follow in the family legacy and stuff like that. You got this injury. You're discharged honorably, medical. What comes next? You get back home. You're having to grapple with this. You're expecting to be in the military the rest of your life, retire out of there,
Absolutely.
and do that service. What was that next 6 months to a year or even longer to work through those processes and figure out another direction in life since that one was taken away from you?
Yeah, and actually, this is actually one of the things also regarding veterans that I want to work on too, because there's not a lot of aftercare, is what you can say it. Because
Yeah.
navigating once you get home is very difficult. Navigating that system,
Right.
and there's nothing put in place for veterans like that. So,
No. No, there's no
mean,
follow-up.
Just to be able to help the veterans out after they get out
Yeah.
and assimilate back into society, that's a big thing.
You
I
think-
didn't have that when I got home.
You would think
So-
that they go through boot camp,
Yeah.
that after the war, after their service, their tour,
There
there would
should
be
be-
some kind of,
Absolutely.
because you're dealing with, PTSD, you're dealing with all sorts of other
Yes.
aspects of that service. You would think that there would be support, but we found that a lot of times our servicemen, sometimes from the government, are treated just like cannon fodder, and they
Exactly.
don't care.
Right after you get out, you hit it right on the head. Right after you get out, there's no programs or no assistant programs that helps you just assimilate back into like a regular job.
Right.
Because, and again, even when you go in, some of the jobs that you go in, there's no civilian equivalent. So essentially, you're basically starting over.
Right.
There's no. Sorry, go ahead.
No. What's the Marine? How many weeks is boot camp now?
It's
Marines?
3 months, 12 weeks.
So you were, yeah.
Oh, full 12 weeks. That's what
Full 12, yeah,
There's
so-
there's no.
So
program for
12
that.
weeks of deprogramming you from society and reprogramming you to be a killing machine.
Exactly. Essentially. Yes.
And then you get discharged for whatever reason. You finish your tour or medical, and you're just back on
There's
the street,
no-
and you've been
Yes.
programmed now to be suspicious, to have all of these things, you know.
So yeah, your mind, once you get home, your mind's differently because once you
Yeah.
go in, you're like you just said, it breaks it down and you get built back up
Right.
with that military mindset,
Right.
with that killing machine.
And you
mindset.
don't have your brothers either. Your brothers in
No, you
arms,
have-
which is one of the things that they do in boot camp, is to break you
You
down
have
and then
the
create
VA,
a
that's
cohesion.
it. You know that you have the
And-
VA,
and-
and I believe the VA should be your battle buddy. I mean,
Yeah.
we're veterans, we know battle buddies.
Right.
So I believe the VA should be your battle buddy, and right now they're falling very short of that. And
Right.
even now, like I have an appointment. I had made an appointment through the VA. They don't have an appointment until July 13th. I can't even get in, and I made this 2 months ago.
Wow.
And it was July 13th. So I want to definitely work on
Yeah.
helping our veterans better, especially within the VA system, navigating that system, because right now there's no logical way for them to get that help that they need.
So what are some fine points in that help that you're looking at? You've looked at some legislation. You've looked at some
Yes.
because VA typically is a federal, top-heavy, top-down organization. How do you do
Yes,
do you
but-
work with the local chapters or the local facilities?
I was just about to touch
Okay,
on that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so there is actually a VA hospital in Detroit on John R.
Okay.
I believe it's John Dillinger
Okay.
Medical Facility. So they right now, I've been in talks with some of their admin
Yep.
up there, and we're working on possibly getting some programs either passed through the local legislation or through the state.
Okay.
So I want to get, whether it be rehabilitation or possibly, like we were talking about, kind of that push into regular civilian life.
Okay.
So when they come in through the VA system,
Yeah.
they're not going blindly.
Right.
You know, they're not going to be pretty much with their hands tied behind their back and not knowing what to do. We're going to provide that for them,
Right.
free for all veterans,
Right.
because no veteran, if you're serving our country and our community. You deserve that. At the very least, you deserve that.
Yeah.
And there was actually, it's a good thing you brought up the policy, because there's a, I think we were talking about it. There's a bill that they were trying to get passed. It was the name is escaping me right now. The bill.
It'll come back to you in a
But
minute.
yeah, it's the STAR Act or something like that. Or I'm sure your listeners.
Michigan or federal?
And that's a federal.
Okay.
But they what
Wasn't
they want
the
to
SAVE
do.
Act? It wasn't that one.
No,
Save
no,
Act?
no,
No.
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 So you
And-
said STAR. So I
Yeah,
was
so
thinking yes, no.
it's regarding the disability and the disability and retirement benefits.
Right.
And so right now they can't collect both. Veterans can't collect both, and
Which is ridiculous.
And it gets reduced. And I 100% agree.
It's ridiculous.
And this act, the STAR Act, I can't. The name is drawing a blank.
You'll
right
think about it, or somebody in our
Yeah,
chat will
somebody
pop
will-
it up there.
somebody
Yeah,
will
but
bring
they
it up.
can give money to illegals.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody will bring that up, but
Yeah.
So that act, that STAR Act, that will kind of bridge that gap, and I'm all for that. I am all for passing that. But there's also a part of that bill that's going to take away 1.5 million veterans' benefits, whether they're collecting it for tinnitus or sleep apnea, or there's other medical conditions out there that they're trying to take
it away.
So and that's for future veterans.
Do they give a justification for that, or they're just trying to push it through?
They did not. And you see, and that's what a lot of veteran groups are coming out against that, because they're
100%.
advocating for that. Why should future veterans suffer because of the financial stupidity? And this is a big thing I like to say.
Yeah.
The financial stupidity of those who promise to look out for them and take care of them.
Not only that, with the amount of fraud that we've known all of our lives has been there, but it actually being revealed and being exposed.
Yes.
Specifically throughout, New York, Minnesota, places like that, California, of course.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And there's even, Larry's brought up a couple different things, the amount of fraud just here in Michigan.
Yeah,
and
with
so
that
you go,
$20
if
million
we've got millions of dollars in fraud going on, what was that one group? I don't even want to get into it. There was the one that they paid somebody like $20 million or $60 million or something like that.
It was $20 million.
And nobody
That's
knows
what I
where
was
the
gonna
money
bring up.
goes.
Yeah, and actually, they said that $1 million of that $20 million actually went towards what it was supposed to be.
Right.
But what happened to the other 19?
Exactly.
I mean, that went into the grease.
And then
the
you turn around, and I've talked with so many vets, and they can't get anything, and they're fighting tooth and nail.
It's such a disgrace and dishonor that we're treating our veterans this way, because at the end of the day, they're fighting for our freedom. We're all in this together. We're supposed to be, whether you're a veteran or not. We're supposed to be doing this together. We're all Americans.
Right.
And to your point of not doing that support, that's a dishonor to them.
Absolutely.
Why would, especially we're all volunteer force, why would they want to defend our freedom? Why would they want to, if they're getting treated this badly?
Not only do they not do the support, but then there's also the other dynamic of typically on the left, but there are some right-leaning, what Larry would term them rhinos, that vilify veterans because they're trained to kill, and then they come out and they're going to be we know, was Tim McVeigh,
I
and
see
these
him
different
on
people.
social media.
It's they have military experience, and now they've gone off the rails. We had the Fort Hood shooting a number of years ago. We've had all these things.
I see him on
and it's
social media.
We don't have the support system that we need for those that have served, and we've got to get back to it. And it's just come a lot of times. We were trying to launch something with those vets that I had the show.
Oh, I would absolutely like to be a part of that.
What we were going to do is we were trying to set up a toll-free line, like an 8889, and we're going to call it "I Got 8 Mics," meaning I got 8 minutes. And they say statistically that if you talk with somebody who's suicidal, if you give them just 8 minutes of your time, and now it may go longer, but on average, you give them 8 minutes of your time, you can talk. You don't even have to talk them down. Just listening to them, that opens it up. And so
that's all they want.
Yeah,
really.
I had
Just
a couple
somebody
meetings
to
on
be
it.
there for 'em.
Yeah, I had a couple meetings on it, and I was like, if we could get vets around here that would volunteer to take an hour.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Once a day or once a week.
I know a few who would also.
And it's like, all right, you take an hour.
Yeah.
The phone call is going to port to your cell phone. During that hour that you're on call. And if somebody calls in, you're there to give them 8 minutes at the least.
I would love to get that details and the information.
Let's talk about that off the air, because I still have a passion for that, even though the vets I was working
with. And I actually know quite a few
scattered.
veterans also that would probably love to volunteer for that too.
Because the suicide hotlines are great, but
they're more informal. You want somebody who's close by who will listen.
But it takes
that has that more.
A lot more for somebody to call a suicide line than it does, because the minute you call that line, you pop up on the radar that no matter what you say in that first 10 minutes of talking, you're automatically a suicide risk, and you go into a database. We need something to where they can just talk to somebody no matter where their state of mind is. That's totally informal. That's not a psychologist or anything. It's just another vet.
Just a battle buddy.
Just to hear you. And so we were working on that. So that's huge. Do you think that, I don't know how much of a history student you are, but having the lineage of your family serving in the military, how much do you see? I see quite a bit of it, the change from World War II vets to not so much Korea, but definitely Vietnam, and that shift. When they came back, we threw a D-Day parade, or a V-Day, right? What was it called? Victory Day.
Victory
We had
Day,
these
yes.
parades throughout our country celebrating that the war was over, and we got that famous picture of the guy kissing the nurse, coming off the boat.
I think
We've
we all
got
seen that picture.
And then, 20 to 30 years later, you've got vets getting off a plane, having been discharged with no support, getting spit on, getting
objects thrown at him. See, my uncle, he was a Marine.
Yeah.
He served in Vietnam.
Okay.
So he had that horrific experience
Right.
when he came home. So
right. And I think now we're kind of in that quasi phase to where you could get a mixed bag of somebody that does support, does say thank you for your service, and other people that sneer at you and go, well, what did in Vietnam, they were obviously vilified coming back.
Oh yeah.
But
tragedy.
It's like it's like a balance between the World War II and the Vietnam, and so you've got even more lack of societal support for the vets, and then they turn to the VA. They don't have their buddies, their war buddies anymore, and so there's this, and it's an epidemic, and we keep most of our politicians ignore this.
Yeah, and that's one of the things again that I want to work on once I get elected is that outreach. I want to go into these VFWs. I want to go into the the local chapters and say, hey, look, we're here.
Yeah.
We're gonna listen.
Yeah.
You have a voice.
Yeah.
Because right now, no single politician that I've seen, even candidates, even ones in my race, have not gone in there and say, hey, look, I'm here to listen. What do you need from a state government that will help you with whether it be resources, money, financially?
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter. We're going to be there for you.
Well,
nobody has done that except me. I'm the only one in this race and races that I've seen that I've been monitoring across the state that is actually
they don't make it a priority. They don't make it a priority.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it goes back to your first statement where veterans they know. They know each other. So it takes a veteran to be able to care about a veteran, I think, in today's society because, like you said, a lot of them.
I didn't serve.
Well, I'm saying,
but
you
yes,
understand.
yeah, absolutely.
It's a mixed bag. So whether you come back and you get that support or you don't get that support, it's always that mixed bag.
It is.
And you always find that it's the veterans who are on that side of, let's give that support.
Yeah.
And,
100% because they know what it's like to be out there and not have it.
Because it's a thankless job. It's an honorable job. Don't get me wrong. I love I love our veterans. But at the same time,
you don't come back feeling like a rock star when you walk through an airport with your duffel bag.
Yeah, you don't, and it's sad because again they're protecting our freedom. They're fighting. They're putting their lives on the line for us. So at the very least, we need to focus and get them the support when they get home.
And it's a huge community. It's amazing. You're talking about the support, not just you're focusing on the financial, but also just the support in general. And it's amazing. You watch if you're vegging out and trying to fall asleep, you watch late night TV on something something good, hopefully. But the amount of commercials that come through for Wounded Warriors or some of these other groups, and you go, we can't get any support for our guys.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And I have things actually about that. So the Wounded Warrior Project, personally, I've actually experienced with them. So they tend to focus more on like limbs, like lost limbs, like you're saying, the financial side, rather than providing that mental support.
It's because we've got a mental health.
And we have to have a robust network, a support system.
Well, we've got a mental health crisis in general throughout this country. Between all of the the processed foods and the other chemicals, and like you said, they put you on painkillers, and also it's the Sacklers, were they ever held accountable for the
And it's a tragedy because again so I'll use my experience as an example of when I got home I was on they prescribed Vicodin, but they also had the pain pump, so that had morphine in it.
Oh wow.
Oh, and they said that basically it's like once you feel a little pain, you hit that button. But here's the thing, that pain pump pushes a lot of morphine in there. Into your body. So if you're in pain, like you hit that button, but it's pushing a lot of that painkiller in you.
That's
what we need.
Way to live.
It's not, and that's one of the main things I want to focus on too. Is the healthcare for VAs. Right. Because right now, even when you first get home, the healthcare is a travesty.
horrible.
Yeah, it's travesty.
Well, like you're
right now.
saying, you're 3 months away from getting into an appointment. Hopefully, it's not a critical
3
appointment.
months is way too long.
I mean, what are we in
Way
Canada
too
or
long.
Cuba?
And here's it's just a checkup. I mean, yes, it's just a checkup, but again, I should not have to wait 3 months just for a
simple
routine
checkup.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Which
crazy.
90% of that checkup's going to be done.
Maybe with 30 minutes tops in and out.
But
it's-
normally, any checkup, 90% of the actual procedure is going to be done by a staffer. Somebody
Like a nurse.
a
Yeah,
nurse coming in and
exactly.
taking your blood pressure, taking this, taking that,
Anybody
and
who,
then the doctor's
especially
going to
with
walk
your
in there
listeners,
for.
they know. Like once you get in, they take your vitals. You're in there.
Yep.
The doctor may come in for a couple of minutes and say, "Hey, we're looking over your stuff. You look fine."
Right.
Unless you present like a serious condition or a serious issue.
Yeah.
They're just going to look over your charts and say, "You seem okay."
Yeah.
Well, we'll push you on your way. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think that right now, that's not enough.
So-
You need to go into, especially veterans coming home today.
Yeah.
There needs to be a more robust healthcare within
Right.
within the VA.
So looking at it, the money's there. We know the money's there. It's being grifted and sent to all of these other, slush funds and pet projects and all sorts of other stuff that politicians typically get into, which I think is why the majority of them are compromised. But so you're looking at. Have you dove into some of the books and saying, hey, you know what, this can be shifted over to here, or this can be shifted over there, because that's a big part of it is having the financial it's hard to straighten out an institution if you don't have the money to go in and straighten out the institution.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I actually, it's funny that you brought that up because
Yeah.
that's exactly what me and my team are actually working on currently.
Is digging into the money.
We are actually looking in backgrounds and saying,
Yeah.
hey, look, these type of programs are these. Yeah, that fly, he's in here. But yeah, these type of policies, these programs that we're pumping so much money into, taxpayer money at that.
Yeah.
There he's right here. There you go.
Dude.
Right there.
They love to do this. They love to do it right when I'm doing the show. It came in. You continue.
Yeah,
We're trying
so-
not to be distracted.
Yeah, so we're literally looking to it now saying, hey, look, this is what we don't need. We don't
Right.
need to have this much amount of money
Right.
being pumped into a program that not many people are utilizing. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people realize that there's a lot of programs that grant money, like even for grants, that this taxpayer money is being sent, yet nobody is claiming and nobody is utilizing it. So
Right.
it just sits there.
Yes.
And what we need to do
wasted.
is wasteful, exactly. And what we need to do is go through these programs and say, hey, look, this is wasteful. This we don't need. We can cut that out.
Yeah.
And then what we can do is reinvest that money back into our essentials, such as veterans groups and veteran health care.
And I've said it for a long time. We could have we need to empower the vets, right? Okay, so let's have them go through, again, a rehabilitation type training. Not that every one of them is going to need. You could do aptitudes and find out where their proclivities are. But our schools are vulnerable, right?
Oh,
So why don't we have retired military that can volunteer there, or we put some of that money in, and now they're getting.
That is something I also support.
You know?
Now, I'm not for getting rid of these gun-free zones that especially my opponents are looking at. Why would you advertise that? I think that's it's common sense. Why would you advertise there's no guns here?
It puts a target on their kids.
That's a target.
Yeah.
And the big thing I always say to people I have conversations with is we protect our banks with security,
Yep.
with a lot of security.
Yep.
We protect our money. Why are we not protecting our future, which
Yes.
is our children?
Yes.
Why are we not doing that now?
Politicians
It
and
doesn't
banking
make sense.
institutes both have armed security.
Exactly.
but
Why are we not protecting our future that way?
Exactly. And you could do it with this entire population of retirees, retired vets. You don't even have. You could be. I know a number of vets that are fully that have full disability. They've been 100% right, but they're still.
They would love to do it.
They're
love
still
to volunteer
functional.
because again, every veteran has that desire to serve.
Yes.
You ask any veteran, they'll most likely say, "Hey, look, I would love to go back. I want to serve my country."
Yeah.
So why not put them
Give
to
them the
work?
opportunity.
Why not say, "Hey,
And
look,
then
this is what we need for security for our future."
And that interaction.
They would love to do that.
That interaction with the
But
kids.
it's not happening right now, and it's a travesty right now because
is.
again, we hear about school shootings every other week.
Yeah.
once we have that security in place,
Yep.
I seen him. He stopped
Dude,
right
I'm
there.
not,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Once we have that security in place,
Yeah.
you watch how much of those coverages go down, because
Well, we've got,
once you have that security, once
yeah.
the bad guys, they know, hey, this school is protected by a veteran.
Yeah.
they're not coming. They're not going to go and try anything in that school.
How many of our colleges and universities here in the state of Michigan have their own police force on campus?
A lot. Oh yeah, almost every
But
one
we
of them.
don't have anything at our
But
schools.
nothing in the elementary, nothing in the middle school, and nothing in
And
high
it would be
school.
so easy to bring these vets in and go, who would you, where would you like to, you want to work with the elementary kids? You want to work with the middle schoolers? You want to work with the high schoolers?
It's not being
And
done.
then they're going to have an interaction with these kids. And I've seen it every time where a vet comes in and volunteers in a similar situation of just being around kids. And it's like a comfort pet on that level.
Exactly,
Not saying the
because-
kids are pets, but you know what I'm
like
saying?
I said, every veteran has that desire to serve, and if they're
and that-
feeling, hey,
Yeah.
I'm serving my community,
And now
rather
they got a
than-
social
They're gonna
interaction.
have that. They're gonna have that. Saying,
Yeah.
hey, look, yes, we definitely feel that our skills are being best utilized, protecting our children.
And now they got a social interaction and a renewed purpose for life. And that
That gives exactly that, and you'll see the mental health of them
improve,
especially
without even
within the
therapy, just
going up.
Yeah,
exactly.
It just starts to improve because they've got a
But
connection.
it's not being done.
Yeah,
It's not, and it's
it's a shame. It's a tragedy.
it's a dishonor.
It is.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Even to our children.
Yeah.
It's a dishonor to them.
Yeah.
And when I'm elected, I absolutely 100% will be looking at every possibility of how we can implement that, because
Absolutely.
I wholeheartedly believe
Yeah.
our veterans, whether past or future, they want to continue to serve their communities.
Absolutely.
And why not have this available
yeah,
for them?
that's beautiful.
Whether it be just in their local communities, or whether it be in their county or in the state as well.
Yeah.
So they have that desire. Why not reward them for that desire?
Okay.
And that's exactly what I'll be working on.
So you're medical discharged. You're back here. You start thinking about this. You have to figure out what you're going to do next. What
Yes.
did that look like?
Yeah. So when I first got home, like I said, I was on.
Yeah, where you're on
was
disability, right?
Yes.
You couldn't
so,
work
I
with
was,
the knee
I was
and-
definitely I was at home. I was laying down.
Yeah.
I was always on.
Which is a depressing
painkillers.
state.
It was very depressive, and like I said, there's no help for me on that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the VA doesn't offer that.
Right.
So I was at home. I was kind of mesmerized on, what am I going to do next? What's the next step?
Right.
So eventually what I landed on was in 2012, it's a couple of years later.
Okay.
I landed on running for the mayor of Hazel Park.
Okay.
Because like I said, I had that desire to serve.
Right.
I wanted to serve again in my community.
Yeah.
And I'm from Hazel Park, so
Right.
it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
So I did run in Hazel Park.
Okay.
I ended up losing in that race. However, I don't consider that a loss. I consider it a learning experience, because I gained invaluable information.
2012.
in
How
our-
old were you at that moment?
In 2012, I was 22 at that time. I was a young guy. Like
So
I said,
that's
I had
just a life experience.
everything. Yeah, I had everything in my head. Like I'm gonna do this. All I gotta do is just say I'm gonna run for mayor, and
Yeah.
then everybody's gonna line up behind me. I had that mentality. But I found that was very difficult. And again, like that I just consider that an experience,
Okay.
learning experience. So a year later, after that election, I ended up going to Ohio, moving to Ohio, where I went to Cincinnati State, where I studied. I studied psychology, and I ended up getting 2 certificates: one for alcoholism, and then one for drug addiction. So
you're a certified counselor
I'm
for
actually
that?
certified counselor.
Nice.
Yes. So I got those 2 certificates. I ended up getting my associates from Cincinnati State for psychology.
Okay.
And I ended up on the student government. So that's when my first
so that was
real,
part of the catalyst.
yeah, kind of like compelling me into even more.
Right.
There I was very, intimate on the campus, where I made sure all students had their voices heard. And again, that's where it started from. And then after I got the degree, I moved back to Michigan, where I was helping my family, because my family was going through a lot. So I'm a very family-oriented, person. So I
Right.
definitely, like I said, I gave up in Ohio to go move back, help family out.
Okay.
You know, that's just me. And yeah, so this was in 2016. I was actually attending Davenport University for my business management degree.
Okay.
At that time. So that was online, and then when I got back in here, I just went to campus, the Warren campus.
Okay.
And from there, I went and I joined their local student government, where I got elected as a student lieutenant governor of that campus.
Okay.
And at that time, and that's in Warren, at that time there was no local chapter of student government. You had to go to Grand Rapids to
Oh, wow.
have any meetings.
Okay.
But me and then there was another student. We worked on getting the student government representation there at that campus in Warren. So that was a very proud moment that I had.
Yeah.
Of, you know, because I'm bringing that local representation from Grand Rapids to Warren.
Okay.
You know, to the Warren campus.
Yeah.
And then after that, around 2017 is when. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there?
No, keep talking.
okay.
I have to monitor chat while you're talking.
okay, yeah.
Don't let me distract
Yeah,
you.
so in 2017, I started working locally, regular 9-to-5 job. I worked with a HVAC company, the boiler doctor, and I stayed there working with him for numerous years until 2022, when I officially launched my own company, where it was Rumbia Apparel,
Okay.
and that's where a lot of the nonprofit comes in. So I actually run a nonprofit currently with my family, the Rumbia Family Services. We
Okay.
help our local community, local struggling families with food assistance, job services, and housing.
Okay.
Now the big thing about that is we accept no state grant money, no outside funding sources.
So they can't control you.
Exactly. Like everything is on us. We control where our funds go. It's
Yeah.
all funded by our work, our regular jobs, and my family's jobs. So we fund it all self-funded, and we proudly to say, since we launched, we helped hundreds of families in the local community in District 11 get, because we have our Christmas giveaways, so we sponsor a family for Christmas.
Okay.
We have Thanksgiving dinner giveaways.
Yeah.
I mean, we were able to help over 30 families for Thanksgiving dinners.
Nice.
And we have these different events set up where we help sponsor local families. So very proud of that. Like I said, we take no grant money, no physical money outside of just my family, the Stafford family. And since then, after that, it's been nothing but me trying to, like I said, represent my community, because again, I've noticed, the families in my district, they're needing that help. They're needing help because
Right.
the rising cost of living, the groceries, they're drowning right now.
Yeah.
And I want to be that lifeline. I'm going to be that lifeline for them in Lansing and saying, hey, look, I'm in the community all the time, talking with them, getting their stories, getting their background.
Right.
And like I tell them, I'm going to be your voice. I'm going to make sure that when I'm in Lansing, your struggles are heard on the floor.
Right.
Your experiences.
So you want to maintain that connection with
Exactly,
your
and
constituency.
that's the main thing that that makes me different than the other candidates, because I'm actually out there in the community talking to people. I'm not going to these events and attending big fundraiser events and all this. I'm out there in the community, getting their stories, getting their experiences, because I think the best way to represent them is by hearing their stories.
Yeah.
Hearing what they've gone through, their struggles every day, because that's what I can take to Lansing. That's what I can fight for. And that's what I'm going to do. That's 100% what I'm going to do.
Military, or helping the vets,
Yes.
helping your family, run the nonprofit with your family. What are some of the other issues that are really heavy on your radar? We could go to your website, but tell me from your perspective, what are some of the things that are heavy on your radar for Michigan politics, specifically in that 11th district, that are really on the forefront of what you want to tackle when you get in there? Because it's not easy. You're going into the lion's den, and you got to.
Somebody has to do it.
Somebody has to do it.
And that's my outlook, because I did, like I said, I was building my business. I was building my nonprofit up. And at the same time, I was watching my community, the way that they're being treated, the way that they're being misrepresented in Lansing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the catalyst that said, I need to be the one that runs.
Right.
So up until 2025, It was 2025. I was like I was 100% behind my business. After that, I started to say, you know, what am I looking for in an elected official? Let's start with that.
Right.
Because I think every person who serves, they need to say, hey, if I'm just a regular voter, if I'm just a regular everyday, you know, just a 9-to-5 job, you know, working citizen,
Yeah.
what
What
are
am I
my
looking
struggles?
for?
Like, what am I looking for in a representation?
Right.
Many of the candidates, they don't do that. They're just saying, well, here's what I'm going to do. They don't say, what can I do for you?
Right.
They just say, this is what I'm going to do.
Or how can I get government out of your way so that you can actually prosper and be.
Exactly, and that's another thing. Again, less government. We don't need more government. We need less government, less taxes,
Yeah.
less. And the main point that I've always drive home is that we don't need more government
No.
in our lives, whether it be in our personal lives or even in our business.
Oh, yeah.
We need less.
The regulations
government.
got to go. It's got to go away.
The amount of red tape that we have right now currently
Mm-hmm.
makes it very difficult for new businesses, small business or even large business, especially in District 11. It makes it very difficult for them to expand or even get started.
Yeah.
What I want to do, and this is going to be my number, I want to say number 2, because my number 1 is always going to be the cost of living, because I see it every day, whether or not, you know, it's through my nonprofit or not. I see it every day.
Right.
You know, the struggling families, they're struggling with, you know, the grocery bills, their utilities. They're literally picking between, well, what bill can I pay
Yep.
this week, or what can I afford
Yep.
not to, so I can get some groceries, you know, for me and my family.
It's
So that's my number 1.
It's come down to that level. Go, Larry. It's come down to that level of. Anyway, you got to duck when you go by my camera, so your head's not in it. Try to sneak him in secretly, but it's. We heard the horror stories years ago of our elderly, our retirees that are having to choose between, you know,
They're
cat
paying,
food
you know,
or you know
exactly.
whatever. And so now economically that's really trickled down into it's starting to hit the entire middle class.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, and especially these outer lying areas from major, you know, Detroit, from major
Yeah, so like Warren, East Point.
former industrial. I say Detroit's a former industrial. I don't
Oh, yeah,
know,
'cause it's- yeah.
but you know, you used to have these areas that were so prosperous by their standard at the time that now people are, as you
They're
said,
struggling.
They're struggling. They're
yeah,
very surviving.
struggling.
And it
They're
comes
picking and choosing what
Yeah.
they can pay, what they can afford to pay, and what they're gonna
Right.
replace with groceries.
well, and we've
and-
got DTE going in and asking for more and more
Oh, that's
increase in money.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got
the second I'm in that, I'm gonna look to see what we can do to
Right.
get rid of that,
You got-
because that's corporate greed.
And
You
you
know,
got-
let's just call it what it is. That's
oh yeah,
corporate greed.
100%. Well,
You
and
know,
not only that, and then we find out all the candidates that they're donating to.
oh really?
Oh,
Oh, see,
DTE,
yeah,
yeah.
let's
Oh, the DTE
yeah, let's start
sends a ton.
exposing them. Let's just start
Yeah.
exposing them.
And then
because
you find out, you look at
they're
the,
sacrificing their constituents and their people.
Yeah.
You know, the people that they're supposed to represent.
Yes.
For what? A few bucks?
Yeah.
That is the
Well, it's power and influence.
astronomical. As I want to say asinine, but I don't
It
know
is.
if we
No,
can
it's
say
asinine.
that.
Yeah, we can say whatever we want
yeah,
here.
the asinine way of doing things. You know, I don't know how we can just say curse words, but
Oh,
I'm going to try to clean it up, keep it a little clean.
You keep yourself clean.
But- yes.
I'm trying to
Yeah, that's
restrain Larry
such-
over here so he doesn't drop
Yeah.
any F-bombs on the show.
But yeah, that's such an asinine way to conduct yourself, especially as a candidate for an elected office.
Yeah.
Because you're there to represent your community and your people,
But we
not
wa-
throw them under the bus for a paycheck.
But it's young people and people, you know, people like you, candidates like you, but also younger people that are popping up here and there, you know, I won't say not in droves, but they're popping up and they're saying, I actually have a concept of that I'm supposed to represent people. Whereas you've got a lot of your establishment candidates that they don't care about that. They want to get elected, you know.
because you know their prior elections have taught them that.
Yeah.
That's the issue that a lot of people should be having right now.
Yeah.
Is these elections prior to, especially in 2024 and now,
Yeah.
a lot of the issues that these prior offices were hold,
Yeah.
they taught them that, hey, you know, you could just get paid and not have to represent the people.
Right.
Because we're just going to throw
Right.
more money at you.
Some of
So
these-
you're going to have the money to just drown your opponents.
Yeah.
And that's like I said, that's a dishonor to your people, because when you're running for office, you're running to be the voice of that community.
Yeah.
Not for a paycheck. I don't do this for a paycheck. I do this because, again, even before I ran, I was a service-oriented individual. I served my community, whether it be through the nonprofit or otherwise.
Right.
I had that mindset. And like I said, a lot of veterans have that mindset. They're a service-driven individual.
Yeah.
And a lot of the older politicians, especially the one, my opponent, he's a prior politician. In his mind, he got it, I got this locked up. When I first launched my campaign, a lot of people were telling me, oh, yeah, you're not going to make it. He got prior experience. He was, a Warren city councilman. He ran for sheriff. At the same time, we're proving them wrong.
Well, you've got a little.
Every poll, every
Yeah.
advantage that he has had has been negated. It's not even there.
Well, you have this dynamic of name recognition, but then they actually go and they look at your platform and they go, okay.
Yeah, and you
that's the
see, that's a
substance.
part of my strategy as well,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the name only gets you so far.
Right.
Once people see that headline, they see the name,
Yeah.
it draws their attention and it brings them to you.
Yeah.
But if you don't have substance behind it,
Yeah.
behind the name, they're just going to say, okay, and
Yeah.
then go on to the next guy, and go on to the next.
Right.
So you have to have that perfect strategy, which I know I have,
Yeah.
in order to keep that voter. To say, hey, you know what? This guy really he's genuine. He really does have my best interests at heart.
Right.
And if people go to my website, they can see everything that I'm about, things that I want to support, is all on my website. Even people who support me and have endorsed me are all on that website.
Right. Yeah. You've got.
So they can easily go. Yeah. See, there's the MVP.
What pages do you
seal.
have? This is the about.
Yes. So that's when they first come to my website. That's gives a little detail about me,
Yep.
my background, and then if you keep scrolling, so you see what I support.
Yep.
Matthew supports, and that gives details, little descriptions about everything that I support.
Yeah. Talk to me about your. Talk to me about your faith. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When you got faith listed on there, what's that foundation of your faith?
Yes. So I actually grew up Baptist.
Okay.
Got baptized. I actually got baptized when I was, I want to say, in my 30s.
Okay.
I actually got baptized in my 30s, and it was at the church that I go to now, which I continue to go to. It's the Church of Clawson.
Okay.
They're expanding currently into different cities. But right now, yeah, Pastor Bob is a wonderful guy. He helped me when I really needed, when I was down, because I've known
Right.
him for years. And when I was going through some things years and years ago, he was there to help.
Okay.
And I think that's what faith is. Faith is a community coming together to worship our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That is, nobody can convince me otherwise. That is what I've experienced, and that's what I've seen firsthand. That's what I'm going to tell everybody.
Right.
Because once you get that experience, there's no going back. Once you have the love of Jesus Christ in your heart, there's no going back.
Right.
So that's what it means to me, because it saved my life. I mean, I grew up, in a Baptist church, but
Right.
I mean, as most people, they're kids, their family is Baptist, so they
Yeah.
just go just because their family goes.
Right.
But it's not until later in life where you truly understand the values and the family that you're a part of.
Right.
And that's why in my 30s is when I got baptized, because
Okay.
up until that point, I wasn't baptized, but up until that point, I really truly didn't understand faith like I do now.
Okay.
And like I said, Pastor Bob, amazing pastor,
Yeah.
great guy, and I was honored to have him, baptize me.
So how much of that community led into helping you heal, as well as going through, I'm sure, you're going through psychology classes and other things like that, and drug and alcohol, certificates to help other people. You have to work through a lot of your own issues when you do that.
Yes.
But then getting into your reconnecting and getting into your faith, and then finally getting baptized, your early 30s there, that's a good measure of healing that comes
Yes.
in, you know?
Actually, it's good that you brought that up, because when I first got back, it was a depressive time. As you know, most
Right.
veterans, a lot of them are going through that because, again, there's no way to successfully assimilate. So I was going through a hard time. That's when I actually first met Pastor Bob. It's during
Okay.
that time.
Okay.
But I had a wonderful support system. I'm more luckily. I like to say I'm more lucky than most, because I had a good family that
Right.
supported me during that time,
Yeah.
as well as Pastor Bob. Not everybody
makes a
has
huge
that.
difference.
Exactly, it really does, because to have that that family behind, not just my blood family, but even Pastor Bob, I consider him like a brother now.
Yeah.
And just to have that, to utilize and kind of bring me back from that depressive
brink,
state.
yeah.
Yeah. It was a profound moment for me.
Yeah.
Because that is when I really got my bearings after getting home, to where I was more service focused.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would definitely give Pastor Bob and my family, my mother,
Yeah.
who's here with us, and and later on even my kids. They're the ones I'm doing this for. They're the ones I'm fighting for, and they keep me focused and keep me driven.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, whether it be District 11 or just blood family, we're all in this together.
Right. So let's go back to that. On your website here, you got a picture of your little guy there, Bryson.
Bryson, yes.
Yeah. But you have two more.
Yes, I have twins at home.
Okay.
And I have one more on the way, Liam.
Wow. All
I
right.
have the twins are boy girl. I have Melinda.
Okay.
Melinda Stafford, and then Matthew Jr.
So who was
Nice.
born first of the twins?
So she was actually born 3 minutes over. So it was her, and then 3 minutes later him.
Oh,
It was
Okay.
a C-section. So
Are they identical or are they
no,
fraternal?
they're fraternal. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Fraternal.
I'm always curious about that.
But I mean, the faces.
That's why.
You can't really. It's like a girl version of him and a boy version of her.
Right.
Like you can't tell. Like you could tell they're twins.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's just because
How
they're
close are
they're
they?
one.
Are they like?
Oh, they're fighting every day. Which most siblings, they're fighting every day. They're I can't even keep them in the same playpen because they just go at each other. Whether he's taking her pacifier, she's taking his, or they're fighting over bottles or toys. I mean you guys have kids, I mean,
Yeah.
it gets hectic,
Did that-
So they fight all the time.
Was there any signs of that when they were in the womb? Because
Well,
when
actually,
it
yes.
talks about
Yes.
Esau and Jacob wrestled in the
Yes,
mother's womb.
Alicia.
So
Yeah,
it's
Alicia
like-
used to tell me all the time how they, especially when she
She's
lay
like,
down
"I
at
think
night,
they're
she
fighting
was
in
like,
here."
"Yeah, they're always moving around. They're kicking each other and they're kicking me." I'm like, "Yeah, they're gonna be fighters. That's for sure." Their dad's a fighter, but they're gonna follow in their footsteps right after me. So.
Exactly. So strong family, a lot of cohesion there, strong faith. What does it mean? You got one of your next points on there is talking about freedom. What does that mean to you?
Yeah,
Obviously, you point out the Second Amendment. You point out not just talking points, but actually doing the work. We've got to our freedoms are contained. I think one of the biggest problems I have with any political environment is we just keep passing legislation instead of repealing legislation. And
Yeah,
every
and
time there's an incremental.
I actually I talk about that just a little bit. I touch on it,
Okay.
where there's so much red tape. Even the red flag laws. That's
Yeah.
Oh, they're
crazy. to me.
ridiculous,
yeah.
dude.
Like
Yeah.
why are we even talking about it? Our founding fathers, they had a set mindset saying, "Hey, look, they foreseen that things could get a little different in the future, and
Right.
which is why they left it open, but they never faltered on the Second Amendment."
Correct.
At that time, they were fighting the world's strongest nation at that time.
Yep.
And they knew that a well-regulated militia was the only way to secure not just our freedom and
Yeah.
prosperity from other countries, but from what could be in our own country. So there should be no doubt that our Second Amendment should not be touched.
It's
And
sacrosanct.
At
It
the
shouldn't-
very end,
Yeah.
at the very end, shall not be infringed. That's exactly what it means. You should not do anything to that amendment.
Correct.
It is perfect the way it is.
And armed society is a polite society, and if we get back to having the understanding that it's not about hunting, it's about
I
self-defense.
hear that all the time. People are saying, especially when I talk about it, they're like, "Oh, well, that was just for hunting." It's like, no,
It was for self-defense.
At that time that they were drafting that document,
Right.
they were fighting a war. That's what people don't understand. They were in the middle of a war, fighting against the strongest country in the world. They did not say, "Oh, well, let's just put the war on the back burner and just make this amendment just about us getting our dinner for the night." No,
Right.
they were fighting in the middle of a war when they drafted that document. So, and which is why at the very end it says, "shall not be infringed," which means that amendment should not be at all in any way changed or even added to.
Yeah.
Because it's perfect the way it is.
Absolutely.
So we are getting some comments in chat.
Go ahead, Larry.
So we have Loveby Girl says that she happens to agree and that you're making a lot of good points, and it seems like you actually care and you're not
Thank
fake
you.
like some other people.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's one of the things, especially not just in my race, but even races across the state. They're just there to make those talking points. They're just there to say, hey, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm not that type of candidate. I'm here to say, what can I do? What can I do for you?
Yeah.
I'm not here to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm here to say, what can I do for you?
Okay.
And I think that's the biggest difference. And a lot of people who I have the conversations with, they get that. They understand that I'm actually caring about the community. I'm actually there to be your
Right.
voice. Like an elected official should be.
Yeah. Well,
And-
it's reminiscent of JFK or even Reagan. Reagan said the worst words you want to hear is, "Hi, I'm from the government.
I'm here to help."
Yeah.
Yes.
But and JFK famously coined it where he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do." It was a
And
service mentality.
Yes, he had that mentality.
Yeah.
Same as me. I
Yeah.
have that service mentality, whether it be like through my experiences in the military, whether it be through my experiences with my nonprofit.
Yeah.
I take both sides, combine it together, and say, this is what I'm going to do for my community.
Yeah.
This is what I can do. And then I go out, when I talk to them, I get their stories, I listen. And I think that's the biggest misconception a lot of candidates, they misunderstand, because they just show up to events, have fundraisers, and make their talking points. But where's the community?
Yeah.
Where's the regular everyday people who work
Right.
jobs? Where they come in at? They can't attend these events because they're working their jobs. So I think that the difference between me and my opponents is I'm actually out there talking to people,
Right.
getting their ideas, getting their struggles, and trying to understand, hey, look, this is what they're going through,
Mm-hmm.
but having that conversation back and forth and saying, this is what I can do for you. This
Yeah.
is having that back and forth, because, again, I think that dialogue, that one-on-one dialogue, is what we need, and it's what's been missing for years.
Yeah. So you're getting, you're on the ground, you're pounding the pavement, you're connecting with people. Obviously, we've talked about veterans, we've talked about the economic struggles. What are some of the other things that you're getting feedback from the people on the ground that are forefront in their minds? Does it really come down to those? Even Bill Clinton knew it's the economy, stupid. It's like, so, but what are are you hearing some of the other issues out there that are concerning people, that when you're saying, hey, what's really going on?
Yeah, so it all depends on the demographic.
Okay.
So a lot of the older community members that I've been speaking
The
with.
boomers?
Exactly.
Because they did say in chat, one of our guys who likes to troll us, he said, if elected, would Mr. Stafford round up all the boomers and put them in internment camps? No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, were you?
But we might come and find you, Bovie.
Yeah, again, it just depends on the demographics. Like the older generation, they're
What's their focus?
Yeah, they're more focused on the rising costs
Okay.
of, whether it be groceries or whether it be their utilities, and them having to choose between
Right.
different things to pay for. So
Yeah.
100% that is going to be my focus. However, from the younger generation, I hear a lot, and I don't hear many people talking about this, whether it be in my race or even across the state, is the affordability of new housing or housing structures.
It's out of
It
control.
is crazy.
Yeah.
I hear all the time that they can't afford to buy a house. They have
Right.
to rent because they can't afford it.
Right.
And that I have that distinction between both the older generation and the younger generation, that I want to help I want to help even the younger generation because
Right.
I think that when everybody's in their home, and they're going to be more happier.
Yeah.
And when you can
That's where
afford it,
yeah.
when you can afford it, you're definitely going to be more happier.
That was one
so
of
the property tax. A lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are asking about that.
Yeah.
So
It's become a real big movement
it's a hot
now.
topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hot topic. Yeah.
And actually, there's actually been some bills, going around right now trying to get rid of the property tax
Yeah.
altogether.
Yes.
I'm actually a supporter of that.
100%, yeah.
I believe we should get rid of the property tax. There's other, like in Florida, where they have the sales tax, where they can raise it. We can raise it 10% across the board, flat 10%. We can offset a lot of that cost.
Yeah.
And it's already a proven model now.
Yes.
So-
and reducing
it's-
all of the waste at the same time.
Exactly, and we can save so much more money with doing that.
Yeah.
Like Florida does. Why are we not doing that? And I come to a conclusion that it's the Democrats. They want to pocket that difference. They
Yeah.
want that money.
Well,
in
it's
their
theft,
pocket.
and they're
So-
going to take and do what
yeah,
they
and,
want
then-
with
and
it.
if
And
they
then-
got rid of that, if we got rid of the property tax, where is their money going to come from? That's what they're looking
Yeah,
at.
and
How are they going to be funded? So
Exactly. And
I will definitely make it a priority, one of my priorities, that
Yeah.
we need to get that passed.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of the younger generation, they're scared for the future. They're worried because a lot of the American dream that they were sold is gone.
Yeah.
It's unattainable right now.
Yeah.
So if I can help them as much as I can in passing legislation,
Yeah.
I'm going to do that because I believe with everybody being able to afford housing, we're all going to benefit.
Well,
we're all going to have that.
The founding fathers originally wrote that they originally drafted that it was life, liberty, and property
Oh, property
was
okay.
originally, and they changed it because they didn't want it to be misconstrued as an automatic obligation that the government that it be
Yeah,
flipped over to
give
the
them
government
property.
providing your property. But if you look at the original history of this country, if you could go and stake your claim, and operate that land, they had so many programs. Oklahoma was a huge one. I want to say it was Missouri, a couple other ones where they opened up the land and they said, you stake the claim and you operate it for a number of
They
years.
do that now?
No, back when
so
those
back
states
then?
were
Okay.
were open,
I'm like,
territories
well,
were opening up.
Maybe we should look at something like that now.
But now you've got the
help.
elderly generation that has long since paid off their house, and
Mm.
the taxes they're paying on it are more than what a mortgage would be.
Yes.
And if they can't afford it, what happens?
They come in and take your.
They take your house
Take
that-
your long, hard work
Yes.
that you've probably paid into 30,
Yes.
40, 50 years,
Yeah.
and they're just going to come and take it all back. That's wrong, and I will 100% be for getting rid of the
Property tax. What
Yes.
is there? What else is popping up on your radar when you're talking to
Yeah.
people?
So again, like I said,
Affordability with the
affordability with the
older
housing.
generations, and then not even being able to buy a house with the younger people.
And this one here is this one hits closer to home for me.
Okay.
Is the jobs market and the local economy.
Yeah.
A lot of the manufacturing companies in my district
Yeah.
are winding down. They're getting rid of, or they're kind of outsourcing the work.
Right.
So a lot of the jobs in that whole area, the whole region, are gone.
Right.
And it's devastating to the local economy because
Well, right now everybody's fighting Governor Whitmer because she's doing
Yeah.
everything she
Yeah.
can to run jobs out of
yeah,
the state.
and you see, and Warren is a huge manufacturing city. They're I believe number 2 or number 3 in the state. And I mean, the loss of those jobs, those manufacturing jobs, are devastating, not just for Warren, but even for the whole region, for the entire Macomb County area.
Yeah.
It's devastating. People can't afford it anymore. They lose their jobs and that's it. It's
Right.
now they're looking. Now they're putting more into the jobs, the unemployment, and I mean it's a travesty. So yeah, we definitely need to support not just local business, but even these manufacturing jobs. We need to make it easier for them to expand, like I was talking earlier, expand their operations and hire in more
Yeah.
people.
Get rid of the
And a lot
regulations, get rid of the bullshit,
A lot of the
get-
red tape, a lot of the regulations are on them.
Yeah.
And I actually talk about it on my website. I believe so. I might have put it on there. I might have talked about it on social media a lot. But a lot of that, a lot of the regulation and the red tape, we need to get rid of that. We need to be able to let these companies just expand and do their business.
Yeah.
Because when they're thriving, our entire state will thrive.
And it's amazing too that they keep shooting the golden goose. That's what government's good at. It's like, dude, get out of the
they're
way.
regulating the
The
trucking
over-
industry to where
the
it's hard to run a
overregulation.
truck.
And
Yes.
then they don't.
And all these auto parts and all these manufacturing jobs, they deal in a lot of trucking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and with all the regulations and everything that are on trucks, it's ridiculous. And on top of it, they take it out on the truck drivers.
And then
Yes.
they don't address the other stuff. We was talking with some friends that are dealing with the PFAS epidemic and a lot of these things and the problems going on with Tri-Bar and they're polluting the Huron Valley watershed. And they don't address that, but then they regulate the hell out of these other ones. And we saw with the Whitmer lockdowns how many small mom and pop businesses, family-owned businesses that were completely put out of business
Gone
because
and not coming back.
you know,
too,
but the
so.
Home Depot and the Lowe's and the Walmart and the Myers are still open because they're big enough to weather, you know, those storms. And of course, they get
And
preferential
now they're
treatment.
soaking up that local
Exactly.
business. So it's more beneficial for them. And I mean, I'm all for commerce. I'm all for businesses.
Yeah.
But small business, we need to help them. Like they're
Exactly.
falling behind because the policies put in place are against them right now.
Right.
There's, like you were talking about, the overregulation, the overburden
Yeah.
of government. We need to cut that red tape, cut those burdens, so
Yeah.
that we can just allow these businesses to thrive and they can bring in more jobs for our local community. And like I was just saying, the more business that we allow them to do, the better for our state.
100%.
Why wouldn't we allow that? It's ridiculous to think that we can just tax a business into submission. That's not the
You
way I want
tax
to
them
do
into
business.
oblivion.
Yeah, that's what I don't
Yeah.
agree with that. I want to get rid of those burdens on them and just allow them to do their business. Allow them to do that.
It's such a
Less
cognitive dissonance. It's such a disconnect with a lot of politicians because you go, wait a minute, you're going to offer a tax break of one kind or another to a multinational, maybe $1 billion company, multi-billion-dollar company.
Where's the
You're going
the
to offer
support?
them a huge tax incentive, tax break incentive to come in to our state, and yet you can't muster up the same
The investment
concept for a small
Exactly.
business.
Exactly.
Or you
And-
got illegals coming in that are, getting all sorts of grant money, all sorts of things going on, and
Yeah.
not our locals.
And
It's crazy.
I talk about this all the time with people in my community
Mm-hmm.
that where's the support? Like I know was it a couple of years ago during Obama's presidency where they bailed out the big three.
Yeah.
I think everybody heard about that by now.
Okay.
But yeah, they bailed out the big three. But at the same time, a lot of the smaller businesses that supplied the big three, they went out of business. They were gone.
Yeah.
So where was the help for them? Where was the help for the local, like you said, mom and pop business that
Exactly.
needed that funds more than the big companies that, like you pointed out, can weather the storm?
Yeah.
Where's the support for the local families in the local community?
Right.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
And the Democrats that have been in power for way too long, they're just passing and saying, you know what? No, we're going to put the money in our pocket. Honestly, this is my honest opinion. I'm going to put it in my pocket. The small businesses, they don't need it. And I mean,
Right.
like I said, that's what I'm fighting for. I'm going to go to Lansing, and that's what I'll fight for, because I see it every day in my community with all the job losses and all of the economic turmoil.
Mm-hmm.
Something needs to be done.
They're raising a little bit of it. John Bovey's saying in there in chat, he's saying, imagine how much housing there would be if we deported 100 million immigrants, and Larry corrected him with the illegals. But that's, that's another epidemic in our country is the
Yes.
amount of people that are on assistance that are not even citizens here, that are here
and I
illegally one way or
100%
another.
I 100% will absolutely look at who is, because we definitely need more oversight
Yeah.
on who is coming, who's going to try to apply for these programs.
Yeah.
And verify their legal status.
Exactly.
That's a huge thing, because if you just go online, you can just say you're a U.S. citizen. There's no follow-up. And that's a lot of the problem is there's no follow-up with that.
Right.
So we need to look at the effectiveness of these programs and say, hey, look, we need to get those who are not American citizens off this,
you're
off
looking
these
at-
programs because it's costing us so much money.
Like a Michigan Doge type.
Yes.
And I know there's already some
I hear
stuff
that all
going.
the time, and I 100% agree with that. We
Yeah.
need to look at the effectiveness of these programs and say, hey, look, these are being taken advantage of, so we need to get rid of these applicants, these people are on assistance. But these are legitimate people who need assistance. So I'm all for helping, like I said, with my nonprofit, helping our citizens. I'm all for serving our communities, but not for those who are not U.S. citizens.
Right.
Because it's costing taxpayers millions of dollars, possibly even billions a year.
Yes.
That we can't afford anymore. We can't afford it, especially with our citizens having to choose between paying for groceries or paying for bills. We just no longer can afford it. And I want to touch a little bit on a comment that I've made. I want to say it was a couple of days ago, where somebody had actually commented on something I said. Now, I don't know your position on foreign aid, but I 100% think that we should not be giving foreign aid to Ukraine.
I think
I've
we
made
should
that-
cut off foreign aid to every.
I think that
If it's
that's
not-
just a waste, especially we're over like 38 trillion, I think it was, or 39 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
We can't afford it.
Right.
We can't afford to
Why
just
are we supporting any
pushing
other-
more money out.
Why are we supporting any other country out
And
there?
I had
when
made
we
that
don't
statement,
support-
and somebody had really, I mean, it was like a whole paragraph of just damnation against me. I'm like, what's
What
bad
was
about it?
What was their basis?
That's
for-
what I'm saying. Like, what? So you're all for just giving our money out to foreign countries and not protecting our citizens and not using it to help our communities
Right.
and our states that deserve to have that money more than like Ukraine or other countries.
Right.
I 100% don't believe in that. They try to call me out on it. I mean, I didn't put them in a place. But
what was their argument?
their argument was, that if Russia was being able to take over Ukraine, it's just going to spill over into Europe, and then we're going to end up.
Oh, so that
having
old
to-
argument that if we don't go into Vietnam, communism will take over the whole area.
Essentially, yes. And they're saying, oh, it's going to spill
Yeah.
over into Europe, and then we're going to end up in a conflict with them anyway.
Yeah.
So it's better just to keep everything going over that way. I'm like, but why should we fund it? Why
Exactly.
should American taxpayers foot the bill? Why should we, especially when we have our own issues right at home?
If
We
we
definitely
took-
don't see Europe, putting more money into it. We don't see, the Middle Eastern countries who
Correct.
have way more wealth than we do, especially, I mean, not on paper, but because we're
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
richest country. But
Yeah.
they definitely have that good amount of money that they could be. If they're so concerned with Ukraine, why not they foot the bill? Why does Americans have to always foot the bill?
Correct. And if you took and you eliminated the foreign aid, and you eliminate the money going to fraud, to illegals, fraud across the board, whether they're illegals or not, just fraud across the board. You eliminate that. You don't need a property tax. You don't need an income tax. We have more than enough money, and you could cut regulations and help the mom and pop businesses at the same time, and we would be fine. It's the fact that there's this huge amount of money just going towards garbage right now, and that's a huge.
Here's the thing. It's not really going towards garbage, because, I mean, I don't know if I can say this, but I mean, it's going back into the pockets of our politicians.
of course.
You know what I mean? I
That's
think
what-
everybody at this point has
That's a good
that idea.
clarification, but I would call
that-
them garbage on that.
Yeah,
it's-
I mean, so I
well,
can,
that's
I
the
can
whole
see,
Ukraine.
like,
that's the
what
whole
they're trying-
Ukraine war is just
They
them
spend
funneling
hundreds
money.
of billions of dollars.
It's
to
just
Ukraine.
funneling money.
It just goes right back into
Yeah.
their pockets.
Exactly. It's
So
just-
I mean, it's garbage in the sense that it's wasteful spending.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we all know. I think your listeners and your audience knows.
Yeah.
Where that money is really going when they say it's going to Ukraine. But yeah, I
Yeah.
100% agree.
Hopefully they do.
We need to cut off that aid, that foreign aid, and just focus right here at home. We have so many problems that we could fix, from the money that we save from foreign aid. That, I mean, we could have everything fixed within a couple of years,
100%.
and we just don't do it because, again,
We wouldn't be
I
fighting.
think
We
you're-
wouldn't be driving on these crappy roads. We wouldn't be driving all this stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I think your listeners and your audience knows
Yeah.
where that money truly goes. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm looking at the, which one of these is going to be correct to get your 11th?
mind if I walk over there and take a look?
Yeah.
I don't have my glasses on me.
Oh, I can put it behind me. Here, let me put it behind
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Let me see. I did that one. Now it's on the screen. Which one of these would be the correct one? Because I know they give me the ones when they update them that. So I see this elephant-looking one.
Yeah, that one right there would be your closest.
Which one?
This one, the first one.
That I've got the
Top. Yep, that you have it over.
Okay, that one.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna put it. The audience is seeing this in live time. Oh, that's huge. All right, let's bring that down. All right, so that's that
Let me see.
district.
Hold on. Let me make
Is
sure.
that correct?
No, actually, that's not correct. That says District 11. That is District 11, but that's not the border.
So to get changed, because that's what typically happens is they'll change it up.
Yeah.
It's not this one, right?
No. I actually have it up on my
On your website?
not on my website, on my Facebook page. It's
Oh.
actually the background.
Okay.
But I
Let
can
me-
always
Let me
tell
try
you.
to find that. So what's the main, or what are some of the ethnic demographics that you're looking at there
So
in that 11th district? Because that has a factor too of what the backgrounds and ethnicities of the people. Because
Yes.
then that doesn't dictate, but it lends to what they do for work, how they operate their families, how what they're that. So and you got a lot of manufacturing, of course, but that's
Yes.
being slowly eroded away, or sometimes quickly
Sadly.
eroded away. So what's some of the ethnicities that you're there, and what are they thinking? Are because certain ethnicities gravitate
They
towards
have-
some issues. They
yeah,
have
and they have different life experiences as well.
100%. So what's if you know what's your
Yeah, so I know.
typical breakdown?
Yep. So I know that right now, it's around 42% African American.
Okay.
It's still majority white at the moment, but a lot of the issues
Mm-hmm.
that I have come out and support and saying this is what we need to change.
Yeah.
It crosses both.
Right.
Because yeah, they have separate life experiences and views, but at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for the working class family, and I think that both African Americans and the white population of District 11, they're working class.
Yeah.
So a lot of the issues, economic issues, are going to be similar, whether it be jobs, job losses, or income, or
Mm-hmm.
even being able to afford groceries or utilities. So a lot of those are cross-contaminated, contaminated.
Yeah.
So those can be answered, similarly. However, I have talked to a few local leaders inside Wayne County because my district 11, it actually crosses into Detroit, so it's also part of Warren County.
Right.
So the conversations I'm having.
So this is from your Facebook.
Yes. So it's going to be right there. This one right
Okay.
behind you. Yes.
Yeah. So the 11th right there, which is like a pinkish,
Yes. Yep.
and you've got Van Dyke flowing through there. You've got so it tips down into Detroit.
Yeah. So it actually extends from 9 Mile down to 6 Mile.
Okay.
And then at its peak, it goes to 12 Mile. If you see at the peak over here, it's
Yeah.
12 Mile. And then it goes from DeQuinder on the east side all the way down on the west side, and then all the way down to Hoover on the west side.
Okay. What's
So it
the
encompass-
neighboring?
The
District.
neighboring is East Point on this side over here on the right.
Yeah.
On your right. And then that one extends down. So the one above is actually District 14, where a good friend of ours, Larry, he's running.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, as you can see around the pink outline, it
Mm-hmm.
goes from 12 at the lowest is 6 Mile, and then from the west it's DeQuinder all the way down to the east side of.
and you got 75 running right through the edge over there on the on the west side.
Yep. So actually 8 Mile is like kind of the middle point of the district.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
So it runs. It's a pretty decent sized district, but again, a lot of working class families live in that district. So
What's do you know your roughly your population overall with that?
70,000.
70,000?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
close to that.
Okay. How about your median income as we're talking about what people are struggling with financially,
Yeah, it's
stuff like that?
41,000, I believe.
Do you know where that rates overall throughout the state?
Yeah,
Where-
it's right. It's roughly like, I want to say in the middle. I
Okay.
should have these numbers.
I'm putting you on the spot,
100% should have these numbers.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm more focused on going into the community, just
100%.
talking to people.
No, I was curious about
But
some of those.
I believe it's 41,000. I'm sure your audience could
Yeah, they
correct
could
me
look
on
it up.
that. But
Yeah. So, why run for this particular spot? You know, you talked about running for mayor when you were 22. You're looking at some of these other things. You're already doing your nonprofit. You're serving the community there. You're connected. What is it about this 11th congressional seat that makes you want to run for that thing? There's other things you could be on a local city, but running for this congressional seat, what does that draw for you? Why run for that seat specifically?
mainly because I seen, and we touched a little bit on this earlier, I've seen the misrepresentation of the local community of District 11.
Okay.
And the horrendous amount of the disrespect to the community from the local, the current seat holder, which is Donovan McKinney. Now,
Now, is he term limited or is he still running?
he's actually gave up his seat. He's Democrat.
Oh, he gave it up.
He gave up his seats because he wanted to run for Congress. So it's an open seat district right now.
Okay.
And just the overall misrepresentation of
Yeah.
my district is the main reason why that I feel that, we need to have somebody better. Don't get me wrong, I did not anticipate on running right now. I really did. I'm gonna be honest. Full disclosure.
Yeah.
I did not anticipate on running this election cycle. I was actually looking to run for the city of mayor next year.
Okay.
More.
Okay.
Close
That's why I
home.
asked, what's the appeal?
Exactly. However, the current field that I've seen, I know they're not going to do the job, the kind of job I know needs to be done for this community, for this district.
Right.
Because they've demonstrated already the lack of willing to actually listen to the community.
Right.
And that's what we need. We've actually gone through so much in this district, losing jobs, the economic downturn, that we've experienced just in recent, couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I know these candidates have not presented themselves well enough that I know that they could care about this community, about this district.
Okay.
So I was looking at my options and saying, if I decide to run now, what are the benefits? What are the positives? The positives are, I know my district will be well represented. Their voices will be heard in Lansing because I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be there doing it. So I know they're going to be adequately represented. And I looked at what are the negatives of running? None. I didn't have any. It puts my family running, in public eye.
Public eye, yeah.
Puts my family in scrutiny, but again, who's going to do it?
Right.
Nobody in this race has demonstrated that they have the will to sit down, like I have, one-on-one conversations with people
And actually listen.
and listen to them, because that's what they're crying out for right now, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I know this community, this district has been crying out, and not a single one of them has listened, has sat down and said, "Hey, look, what can I do for you?" It's always been, "This is what I'm going to do for you." It's not, what can I do?
Yeah.
That's the difference in my mentality.
Yeah.
Is I want to say, "Hey, look, what can I do for you? You're struggling, yes, I know, but what do you want?" And this is the main question I always start with. What do you want in your elected official?
Yeah.
That's the first question I always start off asking any conversation I have. What do you see your elected official doing for you?
Right.
That's a great opener, a great
100%.
way to evaluate, hey, look, this is what I can do. This is what I know I can do.
Right.
So this is, taking those experiences, those one-on-one conversations.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, I am far from over. I am out there in the community every day, talking to people, having those conversations, whether it be at my local Burger King, whether it be at the local library,
Yep.
and even at the police department. I've showed up at 2 different police departments in Warren just talking. Just
Okay.
having conversations with cops, having conversations with the community, engaging what I can do for them. And like I said, I take those experiences. I love these experiences because it's a new experience for me.
That's a wealth.
Exactly,
It's
it's a wealth of
the
knowledge
soul,
that
yeah,
I can have
exactly.
to take with me to Lansing, because I know that I could properly represent them that way, because these people, a lot of these people, they're crying out for that.
Yep.
And nobody's doing it but me.
Exactly.
Nobody's trying to take that time to listen but me.
Mm-hmm.
They're too worried about what I'm going to do for you, not what I can do for you, what they're just going to do.
Yeah.
And that's the main difference I see in this race between the service-oriented rather than being serviced.
Mm-hmm.
And those candidates have a service mind where
Right.
you're there to serve me,
Right.
whether my mindset is I'm here to serve you.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference of, my service mind, me being service-oriented,
Yep.
rather than there being serviced.
So when did this poll come out that we're pulling up here? This is on your Facebook page there.
Yes. So that one actually was from May of 2026. It just came out at the beginning of June. Now, it was just 500, likely voter sampling.
Yep.
But again, that says volumes, because especially when I first entered this race, a lot of people said I was the underdog. Because Eddie Kimbowski, as you see there, he had the experience. He ran 2 elections before, so he had the networks. He had the people behind him, the support behind him.
Right.
Yet, not a single one of that has materialized. Nobody has truly came out to back him publicly.
Right.
Anyway.
Do you remember what
And-
that poll? Who ran that?
Yeah, that was
poll?
actually done by who sent it to me? It was a good friend of mine. He runs an organization that it should be on my personal page.
Okay.
He sent
Well,
that to
I simply opened up the thing, but yeah, this is just opened up the image,
yeah.
so I didn't see any more detail on there. On your personal page, I'll try to look that up here in a minute.
Yeah. So that was that was done last month, a small sampling, but again, I take that as a victory
That's a
for me,
positive,
because he was supposed to be the front runner from the beginning.
Yeah, far and
And
away, just
He's not, because nobody. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about Republicans, because I believe at the end of the day, we all need to come together
Right.
to work on taking back our state
but you
in
have
November.
to you have to draw the
But-
distinctions while you're running.
Exactly.
In a
If
primary.
you're bad for business, you're bad for business, whether
Right.
you're Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I can see why they have not came out and endorsed him just yet,
Mm-hmm.
because of he has a lot of political baggage. And I said this in conversations with him
Mm-hmm.
of, because when I was talking about the debate,
Yeah.
he refuses to debate because of that.
Really?
Because here's the thing. So if he wins, if he was to somehow get the nominee,
Mm-hmm.
Democrats are not going to be as polite as I've been. Now, I have not attacked him personally, in public at all.
Right.
I have not said that, about his, his record or about anything that he's done. I have not attacked him personally at all whatsoever in public. I
Okay.
have had conversations with him in private, and I've had conversations, privately with other, members of the Republican Party. But I've never had, and I never came out publicly against him. However, the Democrats in the general election, they're not going to be that polite.
No.
They're going to attack him on every single thing that he has done in the past, and he has a lot of baggage. So
Yep.
I don't think he's right for the party. I don't think he's the correct candidate with the name or the strategy that can get it done in November. Not like I can. I have the name, I have the strategy, I have the right mindset. Not only that, I have the perfect community-based oriented organization out of all candidates in this race. My nonprofit and my works that I've been doing in the community have been there long before I ran into politics, and they will be there long after politics.
Yeah.
So people see that and they actually understand and they actually support that more than me running, because they say, hey, look, you've demonstrated that you care about the community. You've demonstrated that. You've shown us that.
Yeah.
So, of course, we will support that. And I always end the conversation is, can I count on your support? Every single one, every conversation has ended, and you absolutely will have my support.
Yeah.
Whether it be in Wayne County, whether it be in Macomb County, every single conversation has always ended with, yes, you absolutely have my support. Because I think they see how genuine I am and how service-oriented I have been. Whether it be through numerous works that I've done or even just the conversations that we have.
Yeah.
They can tell my enthusiasm. They can tell my willingness to listen and understand their struggles and their pain and their disadvantages every day.
Yeah.
And they know, hey, this guy really is the real deal. He will fight for me. And that is why they give their support.
And that's what means everything, is when you know somebody actually cares and will fight for you, then you're...
Yeah, and you see, and that's the way I
difference.
operate every single day. I say, what can I look for in my elected official? If I was them,
Yeah.
what am I expecting from my elected official? And then I go in my mind, I play in my mind, I say, am I doing that the correct way? Am I portraying myself the way that I want my elected official to operate?
Yeah.
And if I say yes, I know I've done my job and I'm doing a great job at getting my points and my message out there.
Right.
If the answer is no, which I think it's only been no one time, which that was in the very beginning, which is kind of like a curve for me.
Right.
But yeah, I will take a step back and say, let me reevaluate what I'm trying to get out, what my message is.
Yeah.
So I'll reevaluate it, and then I'll come back to that, whether it be with a constituent or somebody in the community, or even with the church that I help out at. Now, I don't know if you know the Harvest Time Church. They're right there at 9 and Van Dyke, right in the middle.
Sounds
of the
familiar.
district. Yeah. So every Tuesday and Friday, they help. They distribute food. It's like a food giveaway, and this goes
Food
to
bank, yeah.
Yeah, this goes to a huge character of mine. I didn't have no publicity. I had no person taking pictures. I was in my suit. I had just come from an event at City Hall, and I was just driving back home, and I seen people stop and getting their food. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just stop. I had nobody with me. I had no pictures. I even walked up to the lady and I said, look, nope, I don't want any pictures. I explained who I was. They already knew who I was. But I said, look, I'm not going to take no pictures. I'm only here to help out. Let me pass out food, and let me help you pass out food.
Right.
So I spent the next about 4 hours just helping out people and just giving them their food and
Nice.
taking it to their car. And I had the most profound experience with that, because I had this older lady. She cried. It brought me to tears, because she said that I always have conversations with them and talk with them, just to see how they feel. And she had said that just the week before, she couldn't even afford groceries. That place that distributes food, she said it's been a godsend for her, because she's able to get food from them.
Right.
And I mean, it just broke me to tears, because it's like they can't. I mean, what society are we living in when they can't even afford groceries?
Dude.
And I mean, it brought me to tears, because she thanked me. She wanted to give me a hug and everything. I mean, it just broke my heart. I was in tears for it. And actually, the following week, I was at a Warren City Council meeting, and it's actually live on. It's not live, but it's recorded on their YouTube. On their YouTube page, where I talk about that experience.
Okay.
That I talk about, where I had that experience with that lady, and we need to do better in our community. And I said that to the Warren City Council, and I was like, look, we need to look at programs that help, rather than just take. We need to work on funding more programs like that, more churches like that. I mean, I understand that money can be tight, but there's always money in the budget to take care of our community, and that's what I think will really drive home is that. The wasteful spending, it's nice to have a park. It's nice to have, all of these wonderful things in Warren. But it's even more better when our community is well fed.
Yeah.
And they're not worrying about where my next meal is going to come from. And I want to work
They
on.
throw so much money down the drain on
Yes,
these
yes, they
projects.
do.
It's ridiculous.
And-
It's like, dude.
And on top of that, like there was a community garden
I love
organization.
community gardens.
Yeah, there was an organization there that were trying to get approval funding for it. They got the grant granted, but they just needed approval from city council before they
They'll
could
drop
do
$10
it.
million on a new park or park
They got the approval
re-improvements.
though. That was great.
Oh,
I
they
love
did?
to see it. They got their approval.
Okay.
It's the South Warren Community Garden.
Yeah.
I will actually put their website and their Facebook page on my personal page and on my campaign page, so people can take a look at it. But I want to work on, more of these community gardens, more of these, these organizations out there that are going to teach people to grow food. And I mean, because it's a wonderful asset for the city, and it's going to, again, help in our community because they got, tomatoes, they got all kinds of different
It's huge.
Vegetables. It's going to be a great asset for our community to invest in, and it's not being invested in right now.
So you're up there. You've got the northern Detroit area on the southern border of that district.
Yeah.
How much? What I'm seeing a lot in as the major cities decline in those outlying areas, they tear down a house or a number of houses, whole blocks, and it's prime areas for these community gardens.
Yes.
How much
and
vacancy are you seeing throughout that 11th district?
So actually, if you go right on 8 and Mound, you go right across the border, like maybe a half a mile in.
Okay.
There's a whole block that has like maybe 2 houses on it.
Yeah.
The rest of it are all abandoned homes or decrepit, houses.
Yeah.
100% we could be utilizing that property. I mean, I don't see why they're not doing it now because
Because
they
they'd rather
have the
blow money on a bunch of other crap.
Exactly, and the current representative, they're not doing that. They haven't
Yeah.
worked on that at all. I don't see any kind of legislation that he's tried to get passed in the past 4 years
Yeah.
that he's been there, and it's a disgrace because we could be utilizing that for stuff like community gardens where we can actually help our own community.
100%.
Because I say it actually in my video, the government's not coming to help us. Nobody's coming to help us. We gotta do it ourselves.
Right, right.
It's our job to
it's
roll up our sleeves.
Yep.
And actually get the job done.
And it's amazing how easy it is when you get the government out of the way for people to come together and take care of each other.
Exactly.
And help each other.
I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it with that community, and I cannot stress it enough. I love that organization. Just being able to say, hey, I was a part of that.
Yeah.
I was a part of that project and bringing it back. Just to be able to say that is astounding.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be such a great asset to the city and the district. And I think we need to be more focused on how we can replicate those, that organization's, community garden
Yeah.
on other areas of the district.
100%.
Right now, they're only focused on Warren, but again, we need to bring it to the entire district.
Yep.
Because
We got to get it all back local.
like I said, we're all in this together. We're all in this together, and we need to come together to help each other, like you were saying, in those times of need. I mean, right now, we're in those times of needs.
100%.
Badly.
Yeah.
So we need to have these type of programs because, again, like that old lady said, she was struggling so bad. I mean, it really brought me to tears. On the drive home, I was in tears. I don't know if I should be saying that on live.
say that. That's
but
real
I mean,
life.
I was in tears. I felt it so deeply that my community is hurting this way.
Yeah.
And I mean, the programs like that, the church like that was a godsend for her. Why are we not going and doing more?
Yeah.
Why are we not having this type of program everywhere? This type of community-based service everywhere.
Right.
And that's what I want to work on. That's one of my things that has touched me deeply.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to focus on.
Beautiful.
Whether it be through the churches and my nonprofit, because
Yep.
my nonprofit does the same exact thing with food assistance. So
Okay.
I definitely want to bring that service-oriented mindset back to this district.
Right. Do you have it on your website, the endorsements that you have received?
Yes.
I know you've got some ones that are pending.
Yes.
We
it's
can't really
all-
talk about those yet, but what are some of the ones that you've received? What tab do I go to?
Yep. If you scroll down, it's right there. It's actually small lettering.
Endorsements and supports.
Yep. So I have a lot of local leaders
Okay.
supporting me, and I also have some current state senators and state representatives on there as well.
That are supporting.
Yeah, so if you see the ones that support, that's the local leaders
Yep.
down here on the bottom. Then you have the state senators. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have state senators, state representatives, state houses,
Yep.
and even congressional candidates. And I have a lot more in the works.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that because there's
That's why
a
it
lot
says
more to come.
That's why it says more to
And,
come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, what are some more of what's the next few events that you have coming up that you're
Yeah, so I'm going to actually
Focused on.
update on my campaign website as well as my regular website. I want to get a couple events towards the end of the month and beginning of July, so
Okay.
around that time frame, and then one more in the middle of July.
okay?
So I want to focus on that, and then there's going to be more details to come on that on
those
my
events?
website. Yes, on my
Yeah.
website and on my Facebook page as well.
And of course on your website there, which is Matthew Stafford, the number 4, staterep.com.
Yes.
Staterep.4, the number 4, staterep.com. Maybe Larry can throw that in the chat. Actually, I can probably do it. But anyways, I'm sure there's a place to donate.
Yes. So if you see on one of the tabs over here, there's a donate tab.
Yep.
And there's also a contact. So if you want to volunteer, we're
Yeah.
always looking for volunteers, door knocking, and also just regular volunteers at events. So we're always looking for volunteers to help us in getting our message out
Yeah.
and reaching more in our community. So
How's that? How is is this when you?
yeah. So this is
North-
actually when I gave a speech at the Oakland, the Oakland Republican Club.
Okay.
North Oakland. So they actually invited me to come on and give a speech.
I got it, Larry. I'll put it in there.
Yeah, they actually invited me to come on and give a speech, and I talked a lot about service there. I think they have it on their website. It's Americans for Prosperity,
Okay.
and yeah, I believe they have it on their YouTube page. But I actually right after me was Doug Lloyd. He gave a speech
Okay.
there too. So it was a great event, great night. I urge people to check it out.
Okay.
And even check out my website because, like I said, there's a lot of things on there they can do.
Yeah.
And if they want to volunteer, they can always volunteer and sign up.
Very good. How's the fundraising? You're getting a lot of obviously
Everything has been personally funded
to this
for me.
point?
Oh yeah, because again, I don't like to take any money from anybody. I just want to be community focused.
But you are taking the small donations.
Yes, from community
the
only.
community
Yeah,
only.
community
no
only,
corporate. No,
absolutely.
I didn't think you were doing corporate. But how's that? Are you getting some good traction on that as far
Oh
as
yeah,
the
absolutely.
people on the street?
I've actually had several people actually want to host events for me. So
Okay.
be on the lookout for that as well. That's all going to be on the.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we'll definitely have to have you back again. Whoops, I switched cameras and didn't. Or I switched the background. We'll definitely have to have you back on there.
I would love to come back, and I want to get some more details about after the show.
The veterans,
about,
yeah.
Yes, 'cause-
And we had, of course, you're endorsed by Veterans for a Better Michigan, Veterans for Better MI.
yes.
We happen to know
Very
those.
honored to have their
Yeah.
endorsement.
Yeah. What's that other thing? Oh, Christina Like. Yes, Christina Like for 44th. That's here in our Livingston County. That's. We'll talk more about that on Tuesday's show. Matt, what's your final thoughts on this? You're running for 11th district. You're a younger man, but you've got some very strong opinions. But you're flexible. You want to hear what people are saying in the
Absolutely.
community, and you want to respond to their what they're actually dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So, give me your final thoughts on what it means for you to run for this district, but also to have a deep connection to your community that you were born and raised in, and to it's a situation that's out of hand, and the politicians are not doing. They're making it worse, and so you're like, I've got to step up and
That's exactly
do something.
That's
Yeah.
exactly how it went down. So, I mean, the main thing I want people to understand about me is I'm very family oriented. I have I have my kids that I'm very close with. I have my family I'm very close with.
Yeah.
And I bring that family energetic energy
Yep.
to the public, to the community, because again I know what it means to come together, to
Yeah.
work together.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. That's what I want from my community. That's what I want from my, District 11. Because right now we haven't been properly represented in Lansing. We have, like you were just touching, we've seen so much resources and money just squandered away that could be better use for our community, for bringing programs like the community gardens back, because that actually helps the community.
Oh, 100%.
Not these extravagant events that take place, and I don't want to go into too much detail about that. They can definitely follow that, but the extravagant spending that they've been having recently, they could be better used for the people.
100%.
And that's what we need. That we need somebody who's going to be in office to say, hey, look, this right here is not what we need to be spending our money on. We need to halt that funding. This is what's better to be spent on. So this is what we need to be pushing more for.
Yeah.
And I'm that candidate. I'm the only candidate that's going to have that mindset, because I come from the regular, everyday working class family. I say it on my first video I've ever posted regarding me coming out and launching my campaign. I am working class Michigander. I've worked even right now. I'm working 9-to-5 job. I'm working every day.
Okay.
So I'm a part of that community, and that's the main thing I see. I see the working class families being stripped away financially.
Yeah.
And it's become, like you were saying, so devastating that I've come to the conclusion that I'm the only one right now in this race that's going to be able to have that understanding of what they're going through,
right,
and be that better representation for it.
Yeah.
Whether it be having those experiences, talking to the community, getting their their struggles, because I'm a listener. I'm going to listen to their problems and take their experiences and their struggles with me, because I genuinely care about my community, about District 11, because I'm a part of that community. I am the 9-to-5er. I am the working class, family.
Absolutely.
So I want to take that representation, take those experiences and those.
Try to affect some change in Lansing.
And then affect it in Lansing, because I know I am my community's best hope at getting that representation, getting that voice in Lansing.
Yeah, absolutely. Sign my paper. Larry, did you want to
absolutely.
come back to the table? Pick a good color.
Yeah, but you remember, you can't sell it because it's not.
I'm
just letting you know.
See that stack over there? You see that stack over there?
I wouldn't try to sell. I'm just.
Pick a good color and give me a good signature. Larry, did you have a final thought once Matt's done signing there, buddy? I have you muted because you're obnoxious.
I had me muted too.
You had your muted
I
too?
had me muted too.
Here, Larry, sign.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, we got to get this guy elected to the House because we need a voice.
Yeah,
he's a good man. He's a
you.
family man. He's got all the right values. He's a veteran. He's a hard worker, and he'll do what everybody needs, not just his
Not just for
district,
myself. Yeah.
not just his district, but
Well,
he will work with the other Republicans in the House to make Michigan a better place for everybody. And that's
Absolutely.
why he's been endorsed by Veterans for a Better MI.
Yeah. And it's no matter what the outcomes of these, it's voices like yours that have to be win, lose, or draw. They have to be injected into these because we're bringing it. There's a reason why the property tax one, just to note one of them, is gaining such fervor, is because somebody ran unsuccessfully, but got
the talk going.
Got the
That's
talk
the-
going,
yeah.
got it injected into the
Yes.
debate, and now other people have picked up on it, and it's continuing to move, and people are saying, yeah, why am I paying these property taxes? It's one thing if you were asked to contribute because there's a community project going on, but when you're held at ransom that they could take your house if you don't do it, that's not
that's-
the American dream. That's not
I was just about to say, that's not the American way. We don't do that.
exactly.
I will
Exactly.
definitely effect as most changes I can regarding property taxes.
Yeah. So we'll work on getting you back out here, Matt, and keep Larry posted on what
Absolutely.
you got some events coming up. We may even host one here at the Man Cave. Be honored to do that, but we'll work that out. We've got until August 4th for the primary to really
Yes,
get
sir.
your name, continue to get your name out there. You're doing a great job yourself. just,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
self-funded and all that stuff.
Yeah, again, like I said, I'm the best hope for my community, and I'm not going to stop fighting until we're all the way in Lansing.
Absolutely.
So I will be the voice.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, I sent you a closing video at the end.
For him? For Christina? You can't wait. Okay, Larry. We'll steal his thunder. Where's it at?
That's at the end. At the closing credits. After the show's over, at the end.
I know, I'm trying to find it, though.
It's in your messenger.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely like to hear more about the veterans.
Yeah, let's talk about that when we get off air. All right, I will try to, I got to see how I play that
Okay.
after the closing thing. But thank you so much, Matt. It's been a pleasure hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
To meet your son,
Appreciate
to
it.
meet your mom.
Thanks for coming.
Hanging out and having
Absolutely,
dinner.
It's a pleasure.
I'm going to do the close here, and then I will try to play that, Larry.
Thank you.
But we'll definitely
Work on that.
work on it for Tuesday for sure.
Yeah, we definitely need.
Yeah, we got to get Christine elected. We got to get not only Christine elected here for judge, but you elected for this 11th district, and make sure we push that out. And
Right.
you can watch it afterwards. We'll see if there's any clips that you want to grab that, we can pull some clips,
Okay.
sound
That
bites
sounds
of
good.
that,
That
and
sounds
do
good.
that and get those
Good to
out
me.
there. So, again, it's been a pleasure. Matthew Stafford, the Matthew Stafford, just a little bit older than the other guy, running for 11th District. It's been a great time, and we appreciate you coming in. And we will see you guys, Larry and I and the regular crew will see you on Tuesday, Lord willing. And stay tuned right after the credits here for a video for Christina, like, if I can get it to work right. All right. Talk to you guys later. Where's my close button? There it is. Boom. And we're out of here.
This is my brain.
Dad, that's an egg.
Yeah, that's an egg.
Honey,
Dude.
that's an egg.
Seriously.
That's an egg.
It's a metaphor.
It's still an egg.
That's an egg.
I would challenge you.
That's an egg.
I know my brain is not actually an egg, okay? It's a metaphor.
Metaphor or not, that's not your brain.
It's just an egg.
Una cerveza para mí. My egg is my brain.
Can I at least have some bacon, maybe some sausage with that egg, though?
Oh, I want some bacon.
I want crepes.
Have some bacon and pancakes with that egg.
I'll take it with cheese.
Extra large brown cage-free eggs.
Can I have your brain with cakes?
A little sausage and a little toast and potato.
That would be great.
Does it have antibiotics?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at this shit.
Well, they got to be able to resist some diseases.
You resist the disease.
Has it got any hormones?
Maybe. It's cage free.
Vegetarian?
Maybe.
Are they vegan?
No, I eat steak.
Never apologize and never explain.
Never apologize.
Never apologize and never explain.
I'm Christina Like, and I am running for Circuit Court Judge. Livingston County isn't just where I work, it's where I was raised, had my first job, learned how to drive, and at age 19, where I became the trustee of the Village of Pinckney to place the people first. I have continued to place the people first throughout my 20 years as a lawyer, and now I want to place the people first as Livingston County Circuit Court Judge. I'm Christina Like, and I am running for Circuit Court Judge. Livingston County isn't just where I work, it's where I was raised, had my first job, learned how to drive, and at age 19, where I became the trustee of the Village of Pinckney to place the people first. I have continued to place the people first throughout my 20 years as a lawyer, and now I want to place the people first as Livingston County Circuit Court Judge.
There we go, guys. I played it because Larry asked, and there it is for all of you out there. We will see you guys on Tuesday. We'll play more of that and talk more about Christina's campaign. I guess I could cut to me. And so we'll catch you guys later. We're out of here.